I've always been interested in world affairs. When I was a teenager, I wrote to the Woodrow Wilson School at Princeton to ask for a course catalog. I knew they didn't accept women, but I wanted to see what the courses were like. I received a rather nasty letter and no catalog. Later in college, I did study world affairs, but in those days, women were expected to get married. To go abroad to work meant being a secretary. Marriage looked better. 35 years later, I realized I needed a dramatic change in my life. I left my house with my adult children and went alone halfway around the world to Beijing, China, where I taught English for the next 4.5 years. Talk about drama. As a fellow expat warned, nothing would work, nothing would be available, and everything would go wrong in an unexpected way. A whole new wheel had to be invented, but students and Chinese colleagues were on hand to help, for they were experts at doing without. Yet these were magical years, opening my eyes to a whole new way of life and reigniting my youthful passion for politics on the global stage. Politics, of course, could never be discussed with students, and neither could religion. For a brief time while I was in China, Nicholas Kristof was the Beijing bureau chief for the New York Times. Even after I returned to the States, I continued to follow his columns. In March of 2007, one of his pieces was particularly interesting. It introduced me to the concept of microloans through kiva.org. That year, I began making $25 loans, the maximum allowed, to women in developing countries. This October, I made my 19th loan to a group of 4 women in Afghanistan. The women call themselves Selema's group, after their leader, who runs a tailoring business with her son. There are 32 of us who lend to Selema, from as far away as Australia, France, and Taiwan, as well as the U.S. Through these loans, I feel as though I can make a small difference in somebody else's life. Little did I know when I chose to study international relations 61 years ago that I would someday continue this passion right from my own home computer.